Hi, I'm Kimberly. Welcome to Simply Living in a Small Town. So today is Friday, yet still, even though I'm doing this video late and it will be up late. Sorry for that. But nonetheless, I'm here. Thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. And I'm so sorry about the noise out front because that is the highway in front of me. And it is later and it's been raining a lot today, a lot of rain. And so I'm not sure. There's been a lot of traffic just the last little bit, and it's late. I don't know why there's that much traffic currently. So I had my stuff done early. As you can see, I have the hat on. I have it done. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I had to run today. Not as much as usual, because I did work on crocheting this morning. First thing, I was gung-ho about finishing up the next item here I have to show you, because I already had the hat done. And I had to take my daughter after she got out of school. We had, we don't have very much time after she gets out of school, and she was going to her dad. So we got back, I think maybe later than usual. I didn't really stop, but there's a lot of traffic currently down in that area because of where we were going. On that highway, they are doing work on the road, and they have it closed down to one lane. So we actually had to come up a different highway to come home because I didn't want to sit in all that traffic. It was a lot. So, yeah, we got back, and then excuse me, my mother and I, that is, we got back, and then we talked for a while. So anyway, and then I've just been, it's like I've hardly been home. So I've been trying to get a few things done. So this is the hat that I showed y'all in the video of whip bag number 1 that was a whip from last year. So now it's done. This is the wide brim sun hat by Bago de Crochet on YouTube. I will link that in the description. It's actually pretty quick to work up and very easy. And actually, so if you've been watching, I bought this millinery wire that she says to put in the hat. I watched how she did it and everything. And as it turned out, y'all, so this is Red Heart yarn. Just a Red Heart Super Saver and soft white colorway. And it literally, I did not put any wire in this, y'all, because this may be like the perfect yarn for this hat. If you're just using straight acrylic worsted weight. Now, she used in her video superwash merino / silk yarn. Beautiful hank of yarn that she used. It was really pretty red. Gorgeous hat. But, the pattern was for a worsted weight yarn. So, in other words, like I said, this is like, because Red Heart Super Saver it has more of a stiffness to it. Now, I'm just talking about, the solid colors specifically. And they're more structured, like I said, with more stiffness to them. So this is like, it literally will stay. I can adjust it, and it will just literally, without wire, I can make it, different. Again, without wire, which is really cool. So I actually like, I thought this is really neat because then I don't even have to mess with that. So I still have the wire, and of course, I've actually already started another one of these, y'all. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. And I have plans to start yet another one yet, because I have some hanks of yarn that I thought that could actually be super cool. That is like similar to what she used, not quite, but you know, because I don't have anything that has any silk in it, that gives that really smooth texture to it. But anyway, I love this. I think it turned out really cool, and I got it done like Thursday, and I went outside, sat out back in my chair, and I didn't get, I mean, it was really warm. It was like 80 degrees here, very humid. Of course, I was just sitting there, I wasn't moving, but still, I was not sweating with this hat on. So I sat out there with it on for about an hour, literally. And my daughter came home, and she came to the back of the building where I was at, out back. And she says, "What are you doing?" And she kind of looked at me funny, and she's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Well, it's the hat I was working on." And she said, "Yeah, I see that." So like I said, I love how this turned out. It's just cute. The only thing that I want to change on the next one for myself specifically is I need to leave out a row where I increased an extra row. So outside of that though, so it's slightly, you know, big on my head, but it's perfectly fine. It's not real snug, but it's, you know, it's perfectly fine. So this is what it turned out like, looks like. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see like the little holes. Yes, I still have a tail to weave in back there. I had forgotten about that, and like I said, I haven't been home, so I will do that in the morning. But it's just not, is this not cute, y'all? I love it so much. And I want to get some pictures in this with like a dress on or whatnot. Just, you know, for some of my other stuff. I've got to get to getting pictures of a lot of things, because that's one thing that I am really short on. And I have a person that has done pictures with me before that I've talked to about doing some more. So anyway, I think this turned out super cute, and I just love it. So yeah, I'm gonna like wear this summer. I think it's fantastic. And then the other thing I have to show you, so as you know, again, if you've been watching for a while, I have a blanket that I started over a year ago, and I actually went back and looked, and it's literally, I was right. It's been like a year and a half ago, literally, that I started this blanket. So it definitely needed to be finished. It was in the same whip bag, so that's 2 whips down now out of that bag. So that's this week. I'm going to continue to go through bag number 1, and I will show you what's in bag number 2, because obviously I have more than one of these bags. So I need to get, I'm motivated to get these things done now. So I'm really happy about how this turned out. This is the Boggy Creek Blanket tutorial from Cinnamon Stitches, and I've showed this numerous times. So this is how it has turned out. And I put a border on it, which, you know, it didn't have before. It's the first blanket I've ever put a border on. But now to show you like how long it is. So yeah, about right there is touching the top of my feet. So it's not, try and see if I can pull this up so you can see the bottom. It is not a huge blanket. I actually wanted to measure it, but this is probably closer to like, so if I sit down, and I'm like 5'5", so sitting down, this comes up to here. So that's a pretty good lapgan. I mean, I think that I ended up about 3 skeins of Premier Color Fusion Chunky and Bernat's Softy Chunky, which are both 5-weight yarns. So I think I used about 3 of each basically. So what I ended up doing, y'all, and I didn't bring it over here, so I'm going to have to do that here in a second so y'all can see this, because I am, to say the least, slightly upset. So this really pretty deep purple is like a grape color. I mean, you can see it right there. It's actually showing up really, really good. So I ordered recently, if you watched my Mary Maxim yarn haul, I ordered a skein of the Bernat Softy Chunky. This colorway is the dark mauve, which why they, again, I don't know why the colorway, it's like literally a grape color, like really deep purple. So y'all, I got it out yesterday to tackle finishing this blanket off. And I will have to show you that in a minute. But it is literally, there is no way that that was going to work. I do not understand this whatsoever. But the purple that I got is nothing even close to this, y'all. It is a lot, like a lot lighter than this purple. I mean, it's more of a, you know, like medium purple, which clearly this is like really, really dark. So I thought, oh, I was really irritated at first. I even looked it up on their website, looked at the, you know, color on there. I will show you a picture of that up here, what it looks like on their website. It looks like it's this, okay? But I'm telling you, what I got was, it says it's dark mauve on the ball band, and it is nothing close to this. So it's one of those things that I'm just going to have to put up. I have nothing to like put that with currently or whatever. So that's just literally going to have to be put up in the other room. I'm just, I just don't understand it, like literally. But so what I ended up doing based on that, okay, was I had another, so what I did was I had, this is 2 rows. So where you see this purple, that's 2 rows. Where you see this, this, you know, off-white kind of color with variegated, you know, it has other colors in it. That's also 2 rows. So I did have 2 more rows of this part up above this purple up here. And so that's why I needed another, I was going to just do another skein to finish off, you know, the purple color. I was going to do another 2 rows. I was going to finish off the ball of the Premier Color Fusion Chunky that I still have too, because I have like half a skein left, which I actually, that was actually skein number 4. I do remember that, but I have half of that left. So really like 3.5 Color Fusion, 3 of the Bernat Softy Chunky. So I just went ahead. I'm like, I am done with this. Because I was, you know, I literally just wanted to finish the little bit that I had to put on here. And then just get the border done and be done with it, you know. I needed to put a border on this. Because so with the way she does the tutorial cinnamon stitches, she has you carry the yarn up, and so you have these, you know, and I don't, you have that all on the end instead of weaving all that in, which is okay. So, you know, you need a border then, in other words, because you've got all that kind of like on the end of there. from each row. So that was fine. And to be honest, I am going to tell y'all, like I said, I've never put a border on any of my blankets so far, but I'm going to tell you on this blanket specifically, I utterly think that that makes this, it pops. It makes this purple pop. I think that really, it sets off the blanket. Because before, to me, it was like there was something missing, kind of, that it was a little more plain. So I love this. And I did 2 rows is what I did, all I did around it. I don't know if I can, if you can see that, kind of what I did. I did 1 row of single crochet, and then I just kind of did some like clusters, and what I did was like I did double crochet, single crochet, double crochet all in 1 stitch, and then I skipped 2 stitches, and then I did that, I just repeated that all the way across till I got to the corners. Of course. So I don't know how well you can see that, but it looks really neat. And the soft white, so y'all, and I apologize because I don't remember who it was. So here a while back when I was showing this blanket, talking about doing a border on it, and I was like, well, actually come to think of it, like I don't have any more chunky yarn to do the border. I was literally going to order like some Serenity chunky or something, which I have been looking at recently to finish this out, because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do that, because actually the yarn I wanted to use was all this Red Heart Super Saver that I have in the soft white, because for one, I actually have 6 skeins of it that I got between 2 Mary Maxim mystery bags. So I had 6 skeins of that. It's the same thing that the hat, the same yarn. So I had planned on using it on this, but I hadn't really thought about the fact that this was a chunky blanket and this is, worsted weight. So whoever you are that recommended to me, hey, you can just hold them, 2 together and do it like that. Thank you so much for that, because I literally didn't think about that really, until you had mentioned that. And I truly do appreciate that, because I thought, well, I'm going to try it and see what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to look great. I think that this beautiful soft white, it picks up this off-white and the Color Fusion chunky, and it just really looks great together. So I love it. I love it so much, and I really wasn't, I gotta say, I kind of wasn't sure about it. Like I said, to me, I felt like it was it was missing something. So yeah, I am super happy with it. Like, that's like, and this was actually, I think actually, yeah, this was actually, that's kind of weird, come to think of it now. This is actually the first blanket that I started. It's just all the other blankets. Yeah, all the other blankets I started after this one. So this was literally the first one. And I was kind of like, I was more unsure of myself, because again, this was 1.5 years ago, y'all. I've come a long way since then, really, for real. So I was kind of unsure about it, because I was like, oh, I don't know, and I'm not sure about the colors, and I was more unsure of myself then at the time too. So yeah, I'm like finally finished my first blanket, and of course I've done quite a few other blankets since I started this one, but nonetheless, this is the first. So I love it. I love it so much. I think it just turned out so beautiful, and I just kind of played with that doing the border because, like I said, I've never done a border before, and I was trying. I knew what I wanted to do, but I was like, let's see how this works, you know, in the corners and what. So I kind of had to play with that in the corners and that. There's holes in the corners because I chained. Yeah, I chained too. So there's like little, but there's, you know, there's little holes you can see all the way around my border. But yeah, I'm so like thrilled with this. And when I showed it to my daughter when she got home, because I could not wait to show her, I said, look at this. Sorry, I'm having like acid reflux issues. Anyway, she was, oh my gosh, like she said, I love that. I love that. And I said, I know, I do too. So yeah, I can't believe it. I finally got it done. I finally got it done. It just feels so good to have it done. And yeah, you know, it's a small blanket, but again, this is like, you know, it's a great lapghan size. So Kitty wants to say hi. Maybe. This is Biasa. She had to come up here and see me, even though she was just in the back room sleeping. No, 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 no. You cannot be on Mommy's blanket. So I do want to show you this skein of yarn really quick because so y'all can see the difference. I'm actually going to fold this up really quick so you can get an idea too of it, like folded in half. You cannot be on my blanket. You cannot, Miss Biasa. Okay. Okay, so that's, you know, folded in half. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not, oh my gosh, I'm running into stuff. It's not huge, but, you know, it's a good size, I think, to be honest. So I am going to pause the video for a second because I need to show you this skein of yarn so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have retrieved the skein of yarn. Now, very easily, you can, come on. She's on the edge of the table. Okay, I'm trying to see if you can see. Well, yeah, you can see that. You can see that. See how light that is? That is not even. Well, you can, yeah, but you can see that. That is not even close to that, like, grape right there. So, yeah. So now I am, you know, the owner of a Bernat Softy Chunky that didn't work for my blanket, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. It's a beautiful color. I mean, the problem is, I don't know if it was like, I don't know. I really wonder if it was truly like a, I don't even know how to say it, some kind of messed up dye lot type of situation. Maybe that's how they ended up in mystery bags. I have no idea, y'all. You know, I was fairly, you know, hadn't been back into this too long when I got those. So I have no idea. I have no idea. But I'm going to stick the picture up here again so you can see, like, the difference. Like, side by side, hopefully, so you can see even better of, like, what it shows, though, on Mary Maxim's website, you know, versus what this is. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy, but, you know, it worked out. It's okay. You know, sometimes that's how it goes. And you have to improvise. And I have to say, you know, even though I ended up taking off 2 rows and then not adding, you know, anymore, I again, I think it turned out great. So, you know, I was kind of questioned that to begin with. I should have just done that to begin with. But it's all right. So, hope you enjoyed this video. This is Friday night. And I will be back tomorrow, which is Saturday, because I got a package from Hobby Lobby. So, which has yarn in it. So, I'll see you next time. Bye now. God bless.